Coming up on BearZone, UNC football redeemed themselves from last week's loss in Boulder in the perfect way.
Also, women's volleyball continued their season with 2 Big Sky games.
We also have an update on both the soccer and softball teams.
We've got all that and more this week on BearZone. Don't go anywhere. After heartbreak at Folsom Field, the Bears returned to the comfortable confines of Nottingham Field. And boy, what a difference a week and some home cooking can make. My co-anchor Stephen Rice has all the details on the mayhem win against Idaho State.
What's the best way to win a conference opener? How about a game-winning 35-yard field goal? I would be lying to you if I didn't say a matchup of a Bengal versus a Bear would be interesting. Saturday afternoon at Nottingham Field, we got just that. Heading into the second quarter now, where the Bears took a 17-10 lead thanks to a Jacob Knipp scramble pass to Frank Stevens. This pass was just one of the 4 touchdown passes on Knipp's day. Knipp threw another 2 strikes later in the third to Alex Wesley and Theron Verna. Verna caught 4 passes for 165 yards and this touchdown on the day. Finally, late in the third, Anthony Davis let Knipp cool down his arm with a 4-yard dash, putting UNC up 40-24. But Idaho State rallied and took a 2-point lead when Mitch Gueller caught a late touchdown pass. But the Bears drove down with less than 2 minutes left to set up this Colin Root field goal. This game-winning field goal will hopefully jumpstart how the Bears play for the rest of this season. Reporting from Nottingham Field, I'm Stephen Rice, BearZone.
The Bears get a week to celebrate and prepare as they head to Flagstaff for a date with the Lumberjacks. We will have the highlights next week right here on BearZone.
The UNC volleyball team's quest for a Big Sky championship started last Thursday in Flagstaff versus the Lumberjacks. Northern Arizona came out strong, winning the opening set 25-16. But the Bears won the second set behind some crucial kills from Courtney Locke and Alex Clone. The teams traded the next 2 sets, each winning 25-23, setting up a 5th set. In the final frame, Daisy Schultz and Taylor Muff collected multiple kills, giving the Bears a 15-set and match win. The win gave the Bears a confidence boost heading into Saturday's match versus North Dakota.
With that confidence boost, the Bears fought hard but lost a tough match against North Dakota Saturday night. The Bears tried to build some early momentum against the Fighting Hawks with an early 3-1 lead in the first set. Jaden McCartney made an immediate impact with a pair of kills. Courtney Locke and Alex Clone added their own to bring UNC within 1 at 15-14. North Dakota responded and separated themselves, winning the set 25-18. The Bears jumped out to a 7-2 lead in the second, but the Fighting Hawks began to pick away as the set progressed. After tying the match at 25, North Dakota got 2 straight kills from Faith Dooley to win 27-25. Down 2-0, UNC tied the Fighting Hawks at 7 with both teams trading points. Clone and McCartney continued to be productive for the Bears, but North Dakota built a 20-16 lead with time running out. The Fighting Hawks closed out the third set and the match 25-20 despite kills from Locke, McCartney, and Emily O'Neill. UNC tries to make a comeback tonight against Eastern Washington. Come out and support your fellow Bears.
After a strong non-conference showing, the women's soccer team started Big Sky play with 2 home matches. Friday night, the Bears hosted the Weber State Wildcats. The 2 teams battled back and forth until freshman Maddie Barco scored 37 minutes into the game. That lone goal stood as the Bears held on 1-0. UNC tried to repeat the win Sunday morning versus Idaho State. The jury weather kept both teams at bay in the first half. But in the second half, Idaho State netted a goal in the 66th minute. But the lead wouldn't last as the Bears tied the game at 1 with a Brooke Braden goal. As regular time ended, the 2 teams stayed in the cold for 2 overtimes. Unfortunately, Idaho State knocked in a goal in the second overtime, shocking UNC. The loss moved the Bears to 500 in Big Sky play, but get another chance on the road tomorrow versus Northern Arizona.
Who doesn't like getting extra work in the offseason? Well, the UNC softball team did just that with 2 in-state matchups over the weekend. Saturday morning, the Bears opened their fall season with Colorado Christian. Both teams showed early rust on defense, but explosive power on the offensive end. The 2 teams didn't officially count the score, but saw what their squads could bring into the spring. The second game was supposed to be Sunday morning, but the weather had something to say about that one. They had to cancel the game against Colorado Mesa. But we'll keep you updated on the fall season on BearZone.
Ever heard of Northern Colorado Upstream? BearZone reporter Austin Sack went to the turf fields to see what all the commotion was about.
The University of Northern Colorado is home to over 100 clubs, one of which is the Northern Colorado Upstream Ultimate Frisbee team. Northern Colorado Upstream is a competitive team filled with players of all different skill levels. Some players have played for multiple years, while some through their first disc at practice. Everybody of every skill level is welcome. Morgan Schilling is currently a senior at UNC and is one of the presidents of the club.
I've been playing Ultimate for 4 years now.
Friday, September 29th, the team will head to Lincoln, Nebraska to compete in the 2-day tournament called Children of the Corn.
This will be our first this season, and I've been all over the nation playing Ultimate. The favorite thing about being in the tournament is the camaraderie, waking up early and getting to be outside.
In Nebraska, the Northern Colorado Upstream will face off against schools from across the nation. With only a month of practice under their belt, the team is excited to enter its first tournament, and they are also looking forward to the 2 other tournaments ahead of them this semester.
We're looking good. We have some young, talented players that have strong cuts, good speed, and we've already got one offense down. We're mastering another, so we're looking good.
If you are interested in joining Northern Colorado Upstream, head to the practice fields Monday and Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m.
Northern Colorado Upstream has 2 more tournaments this semester. One is in Fort Collins and the other one is right here at UNC. Tune into BearZone to find out how the team did in Nebraska.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Michaela has the weather for the Rockies Weekend Series versus the Dodgers. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Meteorologist Michaela here with your sports forecast. Last weekend, the UNC football team defeated Idaho State with a last-minute field goal kicked by Colin Root from 35 yards out. An interesting fact about field goals is that at higher elevations, it's easier to kick a field goal. This is because the air is less dense, therefore there's less air friction acting upon the football. At lower elevations, air is more dense, therefore there's more friction acting upon the football. Some places where a football might flow longer include Colorado, Idaho, and Montana, where places where a football might not go as far include Florida, Texas, and California. On Friday, the women's soccer team heads to NAU for a game at 7 p.m. Earlier that afternoon, we're expecting temperatures in the upper 60s, but will cool down to about 58 degrees for game time. Later, The women's soccer team heads to Sacramento State for a game on Sunday starting at 2 p.m. That day, we're expecting temperatures at 86 degrees for a high of the day, but will cool down to 82 degrees for a game at 2 p.m. That same day, softball takes on Metro State here in Greeley. At 10 a.m., we're expecting temperatures at 47 degrees, but will warm up to 67 degrees by 2 p.m. for first pitch. Football and volleyball have games on Saturday at NAU. On Saturday, we're expecting sunny skies, temperatures at 70 degrees, and strong winds of 20 miles per hour. But this doesn't really matter because their games are indoors. The Rockies take on the Dodgers in Denver this weekend. Games on Friday and Saturday start at 6:10 p.m. We're expecting partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid-60s, and winds at 10 miles per hour. Sunday, the game starts in early afternoon. We're expecting partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 60s, and a mild breeze of 7 miles per hour. Keep in mind, we have to win this series if we want a shot at going to the playoffs. The Broncos take on the Raiders this weekend in Denver. If you're going out to tailgate, expect temperatures in the mid-60s. We'll be at 70 degrees for kickoff at 2:25, and we'll be around in the mid-70s for halftime. Stay tuned to hear more about how the Broncos have been doing this season.
Taking a knee during the Star-Spangled Banner at NFL games has been a popular form of protest for the past year. It began when former San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick took a solitary knee in preseason to protest police brutality against African Americans. Players have since joined him, and while there has always been distaste and disagreement with the players' actions, things became a little more heated last weekend. At a rally for Senator Luther Strange in Huntsville, Alabama last Friday, President Donald Trump said the athletes who take a knee are ruining the game and disrespecting the flag and the country. He also used an expletive to describe the players and said they should all be fired for their actions. As an act of solidarity, more than 200 players took a knee, sat down, or raised fists during the anthem at this week's games. There were even members of coaching staff and front office who spoke out or linked arms with their players. Only 6 NFL teams have not had a player protest, including the Dallas Cowboys, Chicago Bears, New York Jets, Minnesota Vikings, Arizona Cardinals, and Cincinnati Bengals. The Jets, Bears, Vikings, and Bengals did lock arms to show their support of others around the league. While President Trump is using expletives and calling for players to lose their jobs because of the protests, the actions are protected under the First Amendment right to freedom of expression. Week 3 surmounted in many protests by NFL players, and the Denver Broncos didn't sit out. 32 Broncos took a knee for the playing of the national anthem Sunday in Buffalo, including Von Miller, who has since lost an endorsement deal. The Bills also took part in the nearly league-wide protesting before taking the field. Once on the field, both teams turned it on. Scoring went back and forth from the start when the Broncos kicked a field goal late in the first quarter. Buffalo answered right back with a touchdown early in the second quarter to take the lead 10-0. The Bills held the lead for just over a minute before Jamal Charles and the Broncos took it back. 3 field goals in the final 3 minutes of the half tied the game at 13. Broncos kicker Brandon McManus got the Broncos lead back midway through the third quarter before the Bills made their breakaway. Buffalo scored 13 unanswered points to end the game and win 26-16. Trevor Siemian and company return home Sunday to take on the Oakland Raiders. Kickoff is set for 2:25 p.m.
The 2017 MLB season comes to a close Sunday, and the National League wildcard race is tight. With a 6-game lead, the Arizona Diamondbacks have clinched the first wildcard spot. With just 3 games left, the Colorado Rockies have a 2.5-game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers and a 3.5-game lead over the St. Louis Cardinals. The Rockies' final 3 games will be played at home against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who they swept in LA earlier this month. We will have highlights for both wildcard games on BearZone next week.
The NFL has been a hot topic lately, and due to the silent protests occurring, this topic has sparked a big conversation regarding sports and politics. Bear News reporter Sarah Methuselah went to the Michener Library and asked students their thoughts on sports and politics colliding.
I'm Sarah Methuselah reporting in front of the Michener Library, asking students if they believe politics belongs in sports.
I don't really have an opinion on this subject.
No. Sports is just for entertainment.
If you have the platform, I feel like you have the right to say whatever you want to say. That's a good question. I feel like sports in the modern day and age are more about the sport, and it's more about a community in a group of people as an entertainment. So it kind of involves a community regardless of if politics are involved. So I feel like there's opportunity for athletes to get politics involved because they do have a voice to most of the population of the country, I think.
Well, I'm a political science major, so I argue that politics has a place in everything. Like, even just the team that you go for, like, that's politics. It's people, like, arguing against each other.
No.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't follow sports at all. I really couldn't answer that question. I don't think so, because sports is sports and politics are politics, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, just like everything else in our society, I think it's all intertwined.
Yes, I do believe that, and I think that, I don't know, the popularity of the players should be used to get those politics out there more.
Yeah, I think so. I think athletes have that stage for a reason and all that. If nobody's going to talk, then things are just going to stay the same.
Yeah, I would agree with Simon. I think that, in any part of life, politics are applicable,
Reporting from the Michener Library, I'm Sarah Methuselah, Bear News.
It's clear that many students have different views on this topic.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be an athlete at UNC? Well, next week we will show you what a day looks like for one of them. Tune in next week to BearZone to see which athlete's day we follow. If you have a guess about who it is, please comment on our Twitter or Instagram pages, BearZone UNCO.
And that is our show for tonight. Be sure to stay up to date on our Twitter and Instagram pages, BearZone UNCO, and on YouTube, Bear News 98.
Make sure to like us and to join us every week for BearZone. All sports, all the time for UNC Athletics. Good night.